Have you ever wondered what separates genuine faith from idolatry? On Mount Carmel, one man faced 450 prophets of Baal to prove who truly holds the power, the false gods or the true God. This story, recorded in 1 Kings 18, is not just a historical account, but a call for all of us today. In a world full of distractions and false gods, how can we keep our faith firm in the true God? In this video, we will explore the incredible story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal and discover how the power of the true God can transform our lives. Like, share, and comment so this message reaches more people. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't miss this opportunity to receive more inspiring messages like this. Before we dive into the confrontation on Mount Carmel, it's important to understand the context in which this story took place. Israel was in a time of great apostasy. King Ahab and his wife Jezebel had introduced the worship of Baal, a Canaanite god associated with fertility and harvests. Many Israelites were divided between following the God of Israel or the gods of the dominant culture. Elijah rises as a courageous prophet, calling the people back to true worship. He announces a drought as a judgment from God, showing that Baal, the supposed god of rain, had no power at all. This scenario leads us to an important question. How many times have we found ourselves divided between following God and yielding to the pressures of the world around us? Here, we see that Elijah not only confronted the prophets of Baal, but also challenged the people to make a decision. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. 1 Kings 18:21. This question echoes today. Whom are you serving? Imagine the scene. Elijah, a single prophet of God, standing before 450 prophets of Baal. The people of Israel were divided, undecided between following the true God or the idols of the dominant culture. Elijah proposes an audacious challenge: 2 altars, 2 sacrifices, but only one God will answer with fire from heaven. The prophets of Baal begin their ritual. They shout, dance, and even wound themselves, but nothing happens. Their altar remains intact, and the silence is deafening. Meanwhile, Elijah remains calm and confident. He knows that the God he serves is real and powerful. Here, we see a crucial lesson. Genuine faith does not depend on noise or spectacle, but on a quiet trust in the power of God. Elijah did not need to despair or prove anything. He simply trusted that God would act. And you? How do you react when facing challenges that test your faith? Do you, like the prophets of Baal, try to solve things on your own power? Or, like Elijah, do you trust in the God who always fulfills his promises? After hours of shouting and rituals from the prophets of Baal, nothing happened. Their altar remained intact, and the silence was deafening. Then, Elijah approaches. He not only builds an altar, but he does so in a way that leaves no doubt about who is in control. He drenches the sacrifice and the altar with water 3 times, making it humanly impossible for the fire to start. And then, he prays. A simple, yet powerful prayer. Answer me, Lord, answer me, so that this people will know that you, Lord, are God, and that you have turned their hearts back to you. 1 Kings 18:37. And what happens? The fire of God descends from heaven, consuming not just the sacrifice, but also the wood, the stones, the dust, and even the water in the trench. God's power was so evident that the people fell on their faces and exclaimed, "The Lord is God. The Lord is God." 1 Kings 18:39. This miracle shows us something profound about the character of God. He does not share his glory with anyone. While false gods are powerless, the true God acts in a powerful and unquestionable way. Elijah did not need to convince the people with words. God himself revealed himself undeniably. And this leads us to a question. Where are you placing your trust? In things that fail, or in the God who never fails? The story of Elijah reminds us that when we trust the true God, He acts in ways beyond our understanding. The story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal is not just a tale from the past. It carries powerful lessons for us today. We live in a world full of modern Baals, things that compete for our attention and devotion, such as money, success, pleasure, and even social media. But just like on Mount Carmel, God calls us to make a decision. Who will we serve? Elijah teaches us that genuine faith requires courage to face challenges and trust to wait on God's timing. He was not intimidated by the 450 prophets of Baal because he knew that the God he served was greater than any adversity. And you? What are the Baals that try to distract you from God? It could be fear, anxiety, the quest for approval, or even the daily routine. Elijah's lesson is clear. When we put God first, He acts in ways that transform not only our circumstances, but also our hearts. Here are 3 practical steps to apply this lesson in your life. Identify your Baals. What has taken the place of God in your life? Take an honest self-assessment. Make a courageous decision. Just like Elijah, decide to serve God with your whole heart, even if it means swimming against the tide. Trust in God's power. Remember that the same God who sent fire from heaven on Mount Carmel is with you today. He is powerful to act in your life. The story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal shows us that the power of the true God is unparalleled. While idols fail and disappoint, the God of the Bible acts with power and faithfulness. Elijah did not need to prove anything. He simply trusted, and God did the rest. And you? What does this story mean for your life? How can you strengthen your faith and trust more in the power of God? Leave a comment below sharing what you learned from Elijah's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring messages like this. Remember, the same God who answered Elijah with fire from heaven is ready to act in your life today. Just trust and place your faith in Him. See you in the next video.